We're joined by Liv from Liv's Eyes, and you're calling from Germany. We hope you're having a great day. Thanks so much for joining us.
My pleasure, my honor, and yes, we're in the southwest of Germany, about 40 kilometers from Stuttgart, in the vineyards. It's a beautiful place. Yes.
Well, we love it. Can you give us a little background on you getting into music? Like growing up, who were some of your musical heroes, and what was the path for you to want to be a musician and singer?
Well, actually, it's because of my parents mainly, because they're only 18 and 19 years older than I am, and when I was born, they were still, in a party mood, to put it that way, and in the middle of the 70s, and my parents were and are still huge fans of Ozzy, Black Sabbath, Iron Maiden, Pink Floyd. So I grew up with this kind of music, and it's like having it in the milk bottle, So I was really at the age of 6 or 7 years old, I was really enthusiastic about this kind of music, and yeah, this is my music, and this is my Ozzy and Black Sabbath has always been my biggest influence. So when I ran into my teens, I founded a band called Theatre of Tragedy together with my boyfriend back then, and we recorded 4 songs on a demo tape for like $15 and sent the songs out. That was a cassette back then, out to 15, 20 labels, and we got a record deal just 2 weeks afterwards, and we went on tour supporting Atrocity through Europe for 25 gigs just 1 year later. So everything went very fast, and I was member of Theatre of Tragedy until 2003. Then I was forced to leave the band. Same story as Tarja Turunen from Nightwish, and I formed Liv's Eyes. Parallel to this, I've always had my solo career, which is more like independent rock, pop, metal even. I've always been singing even before I was able to talk. So this is an ability I was born with, and when I was very little, I thought that every human being had this kind of has this kind of perfect hearing and strong vocal cords. So finally, after a couple of years, I realized that I've been given a very special gift genetically, and I'm kind of blessed because I never had any singing lessons or I never studied music. It has always been there. I've always loved singing and composing.
Well, when you heard other singers, who were the ones that really inspired you to want to stretch and grow your voice?
Well, actually, it was the combination of Ozzy's voice, which is not a screaming voice. It's a very melodic voice, as a contrast to the metal sound, to the doom sound of Black Sabbath, and the same like as in Iron Maiden. I thought this is just brilliant, having contrasting elements in metal music. So as soon as Theatre of Tragedy was formed, we realized that we could put other contrasting elements into our music as well, like angelic female voices, and dark growls, dark voices, male voices, next to classical instruments and heavy guitars and drums. So I like that kind of setup with contrasting elements in music, and I think, well, in my opinion, metal is the best place or yes, to do so. So I'm still very fond of all this, and Leaves Eyes is also about you know, of course it's metal, but it's folk, it's classical. We have angelic voices, and choirs next to growls, Alex growls. There's everything in there, and I feel it feels great to spread your wings, to spread my wings. So I feel very comfortable being a metal girl, metal lady.
Well, yeah, it brings out so many different textures and layers, you know, with the Beauty and the Beast, the black and the white,
Yeah.
The hills and the valleys.
Absolutely. Absolutely. You said it. Yeah. Beauty and the Beast. Yeah.
Yeah. Now, I know a lot of your lyrics get into the Norse mythology and the age of the Vikings. You know, talk about your interest in these areas.
Well, I've always been interested in history, and especially the Middle Ages and Scandinavia and the Middle Ages. The history of the Vikings, mythology, paganism, all this has always been something I've loved at school. And I grew up at a place called Hafrsfjord, which is nearby Stavanger, the west coast of Norway, and this is historically for Norway a very important place because Harald Fairhair, that's the man with this album King of Kings is about. He won a decisive a battle here in this fjord, and that led to his reign, being the first king of Norway. I was born there, so this is it's not a legend. We know that something must have happened because in some sagas, especially where you have parts written by Snorri Sturlason, one of the most famous, I'd say, journalists and poets in the Middle Ages. He wrote about this happening, so something must have happened in Hafrsfjord. Yes, King of Kings has a kind of personal meaning to me too, since I was born there. And it was actually Alex, my husband's idea to call the album King of Kings, being like composing a whole soundtrack to Harald Fairhair's life. And that meant for me like opening or digging my nose into a couple of hundred books lying around in the house. And at the storage room, so yes, there's more than enough material to write another 10 albums about the Vikings. So this is where I come from, and this is also the basis for Leaves Eyes.
Well, certainly a great opportunity for those that come from other parts of the world to, savor some of that great history of Scandinavia and, the medieval times and so many, it's nice to take an adventure, with the music and the lyrics and kind of escape, your everyday life.
Absolutely, you're so right, and that is also if you talking about or considering art and the purpose of art in general, I'd say that this is exactly what we would like to achieve, to make people dream and get away from the daily stress and dive into another wonderful, fantastic world. Even if it means going back in history, it's still kind of wonderful. And you have heroes, you have myths and sagas, and I think it's fantastic. And Leaves Eyes is of course it's for the ears, but it's also for your imagination, for your eyes. Even if you have a look at the artwork, it's all like a package of it's a huge a possibility to just get away from everything, and And yeah, I see that as the main purpose of art, to push the reset button, even if it's just for one song for 3 minutes and 33 seconds.
Sure. Well, I know this album, King of Kings, also marks a new label and a new adventure for you. Give us an idea of going into this project, what your feelings were to change labels, and to also, what your mindset was to achieve with this record.
Well, we were still with a former label, Napalm Records, when we started composing for King of Kings. We knew what the title, as already mentioned, Alex came up with the title. We knew what it would be about. I knew that I would, write my lyrics and set everything up in 12 chapters. We knew where we were going, that it would be the biggest production of EYES ever. Everything, taking place in our own studio. But the deal was over with Napalm Records, so we had to, we were aware of the fact that maybe we would have to look for another label, for a different label, which we did. All doors were open, all contracts with Napalm Records fulfilled. So we showed it to AFM Records, because Jochen, the boss of AFM Records, actually he's from the next village. So Alex and Jochen kind of, they speak the kind of same language, if you get what I mean. So it's like, for us, it's like coming home. That felt great, especially for this production being the biggest one we've ever had so far. One example is Blazing Waters, 350 to 400 channels, tracks to submix and mix. I think the first Black Sabbath album, the Black Sabbath, I think there were 6 or 7 channels or tracks to mix. And we have like 350 to 400 per song. So that's a lot. Not every song is this, big when it comes to production, but some of the songs, like Blazing Waters. So everything we've included into this production, of course, meant that we would need support from AFM Records, and they've been highly supportive all the way. We have the same goals, we have the same visions, and it feels just great. Because this album is definitely a milestone in EYES history and career. And if you don't have a good and supportive and friendly label with you, the band, could fall apart, because we put all the energy, hearts and souls into this, and of course we spent all the money on the White Russian Orchestra and the London Voices Choir, of course.
Sure.
So it's important that you have backup. It's of vital importance. So I'm very happy about the move to AFM Records.
Yes, the home team, the family, very, very important. And I know with a epic album like this, you want to take it to the world, and it's our pleasure to help spread the word. What in your travels, I know you've performed in over 50 countries. What are some of your favorite places to visit, and you always look forward to going to perform?
Wow, that's a very good question, because audience, we have fantastic audiences everywhere. It's always fantastic to play in Norway, of course, which we do not happen to do very often. Actually, it's a kind of hard to travel all the way to Norway, and there are not that many venues in Norway and promoters, so it's hard to get gigs there. But sometimes we are able to jump on a support tour if we have a bigger headliner like Camelot or Blind Guardian, and we follow them to Norway. So Norway is always special to me, very special. special. But of course, we have fantastic fans and friends all over the world, and I'm looking very much forward to playing in Japan in March. We never played Japan, so that's going to be the first time. We are planning a North American tour in connection with the Asian tour. So stay tuned for more news. It's in the making. The US tour is in the making.
We can't wait to see that. And I know on one of the songs you had the opportunity on Edge of Steel to duet with Simone from Epica. Talk about how that came about.
Oh, fantastic. I actually, when I had recorded my own vocals for Age of Steel, I thought that somehow the manner of singing kind of reminds about Simone's manner of singing. And Alex just called her and said, well, Simone, what do you think about this song, this track? What's your first idea when you hear it? And she said, well, I would fit perfectly to the song, and of course that was what we thought too. So you know, she's just a perfect duet partner for this track, using this manner and way of singing, and you know, the expression in our voices is very clear. I really like it, and it was great seeing her again. She's a mum now, so we're both mothers, and actually she does live only 1 hour from our place. She moved to Germany a while ago, so it's always great to see Simone, and I think she has grown a lot when it comes to singing and experience. I really I was really happy to see her again, and she's doing fine, and very busy woman. Yes.
That's fantastic. Now, all that you've seen and gone through in your career, what advice do you give to the young singers or bands today? You know, with the level of commitment, passion, and perseverance it takes, especially in today's industry, what do you advise them to really have a chance to, you know, find their own style and persevere?
Well, this is an answer based on my own experience, of course, and that is it's the most important thing is to gather experience in the studio and on the stage, make your own experience, gather knowledge and grow on it, and that's an ongoing positive process. To me, it was definitely, and I feel that there's nothing more worthy and of greater importance than making your own experience. I think that's the most important thing. Moreover, whatever you do it with heart and soul. And if there's anything you definitely would not do, and everybody else would like you to do it, don't do it, because you have to live with it for the rest of your life. And I always have, you know, my family, my grandparents, in my mind and in my thoughts if there's a question about, you know, what to wear and there are certain things that I would never do, and I always have my grandmother. You know, what would my grandmother think about it? So yes, you have to stay true to yourself. And one last thing is that you should never forget who makes this possible, who makes this dream come true. If you ever happen to sell a couple of albums, if you ever happen to get on a tour and play in front of an amazing audience, you have to be thankful towards your audience and everybody supporting you, because this doesn't go without saying. It's a blessing, actually. So all the energy, the exchange of positive energy during a gig, that's an incredible feeling. And I just want to say thank you to everybody out there, supporting me for 25 years. It's amazing. My dream has come true, combining music and family, and that's all I ever wanted. And you made this dream come true.
Well, Liv, thank you so much. We appreciate your time. King of Kings is the album. Liv's Eyes has blessed the world with so much great music. Please keep it up.
Thank you so much, Jay. It was a pleasure talking to you, and I wish you a wonderful day.